Wilhelm II, born in 1859, was destined for a life of immense power and consequence. As the grandson of Queen Victoria and heir to the German throne, his birthright placed him at the heart of European affairs. However, his early life was marked by both privilege and hardship. A difficult birth left him with a withered arm, deeply impacting his self-image. Growing up amidst the grandeur of the Hohenzollern dynasty, Wilhelm developed a strong sense of his own importance. He received a strict military education, instilling in him a deep admiration for Prussian military tradition. His relationship with his parents, Crown Prince Frederick and Victoria, Princess Royal of the United Kingdom, was complex. He clashed with their liberal views, gravitating instead towards the conservative ideals of his tutors and military mentors. In 1888, tragedy struck. Wilhelm's grandfather, Kaiser Wilhelm I, died. His father ascended the throne as Frederick III, but his reign was tragically cut short after only 99 days due to throat cancer. At the young age of 29, Wilhelm II became Kaiser of Germany, inheriting a newly unified and powerful nation on the cusp of the 20th century. Wilhelm II's reign began under the shadow of Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor who had skillfully unified Germany. Bismarck advocated for a cautious foreign policy, aiming to maintain the balance of power in Europe. However, the young and ambitious Kaiser clashed with Bismarck's cautious approach. Wilhelm envisioned a more assertive Germany, a world power capable of challenging the established order. He believed in expanding Germany's navy, acquiring colonies and projecting German power on the world stage. The tension between the two men grew, fueled by their differing views on social policy and foreign affairs. Wilhelm, impatient with Bismarck's resistance to his ideas, ultimately forced the resignation of the aging Chancellor in 1890. The dismissal of Bismarck marked a turning point in German history, signaling Wilhelm's desire to take the reins of power fully into his own hands. Wilhelm II's personality and relationships played a significant role in shaping his reign. He was known for his volatile temperament, his tendency towards impulsive decisions, and his unwavering belief in his own judgment. One of the most influential figures in his early life was his grandmother, Queen Victoria. Their relationship was close, and Victoria often offered her grandson advice on matters of state. However, their views on foreign policy diverged, particularly as Germany's ambitions began to challenge British interests. Wilhelm's relationships with his advisors were equally complex. He surrounded himself with a mix of individuals, some supportive of his ambitious plans, others urging caution. This approach, while allowing him to maintain control, often led to inconsistent policies and missed opportunities for diplomacy. With Bismarck gone, Wilhelm II embarked on a new course for Germany, guided by his vision of Weltpolitik, or world policy. This ambitious foreign policy aimed to secure Germany's place in the sun, asserting its influence on the world stage through military strength, economic expansion, and colonial acquisitions. Wilhelm's pursuit of Weltpolitik led to a dramatic increase in military spending, particularly on the navy. He believed that a powerful fleet was essential for Germany to challenge British naval dominance and secure its interests overseas. This naval arms race fueled suspicion and tension between Germany and Great Britain, contributing to the growing instability in Europe. Wilhelm's foreign policy was also marked by a series of diplomatic blunders. His impulsive pronouncements and aggressive rhetoric often alienated potential allies and inflamed tensions with rival powers. At the heart of the growing tensions in Europe was the escalating naval rivalry between Germany and Great Britain. Wilhelm II, convinced that a powerful navy was crucial to achieving his Weltpolitik ambitions, embarked on a massive naval build-up program. This program, spearheaded by Admiral Alfred von Tirpitz, aimed to create a fleet capable of challenging the Royal Navy's dominance. The construction of dreadnoughts, a new class of powerful battleships, further fueled the arms race. Britain, long accustomed to naval supremacy, viewed Germany's naval ambitions with increasing alarm. The naval rivalry not only strained Anglo-German relations but also contributed to a climate of suspicion and fear in Europe. The enormous cost of building and maintaining these powerful fleets placed a significant strain on the economies of both nations. The naval rivalry between Germany and Great Britain became a defining feature of the pre-World War I era, contributing to the spiral of events that would ultimately lead to war. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary on June 28, 1914, ignited a chain reaction that would plunge Europe into World War I. The assassination, carried out by a Serbian nationalist, triggered a diplomatic crisis that quickly escalated into a continental conflict. Wilhelm II's role in the events leading up to the war is a subject of much historical debate. Some historians argue that his aggressive foreign policy and unwavering support for Austria-Hungary emboldened the Austro-Hungarian government to take a hard line against Serbia. Others contend that Wilhelm II, while certainly ambitious, was not intent on war, and that he made efforts to prevent the crisis from spiraling out of control. Regardless of his intentions, Wilhelm II's actions during the July crisis proved disastrous, paving the way for the outbreak of a war that would have devastating consequences for Germany and the world. The outbreak of World War I shattered the fragile peace in Europe. Wilhelm II, initially confident of a swift German victory, found himself leading a nation embroiled in a brutal and protracted conflict. The war, which he had believed would solidify Germany's position as a world power, instead led to its ruin. As the war dragged on, Germany's military situation deteriorated. The Allied blockade took a heavy toll on the German economy, while the endless casualties on the Western Front sapped the nation's morale. Wilhelm II's influence waned as the German military leadership, led by Paul von Hindenburg and Erich Ludendorff, assumed greater control over the war effort. By 1918, Germany was on the verge of collapse. Faced with military defeat and growing unrest at home, Wilhelm II was forced to abdicate on November 9, 1918. He fled to exile in the Netherlands, leaving behind a shattered nation grappling with the consequences of a devastating war. Wilhelm II spent the remaining years of his life in exile in the Netherlands. He resided at Huis Doorn, a stately manor house where he lived a life of relative comfort and seclusion. Despite his removal from power, Wilhelm II remained a figure of controversy, both in Germany and abroad. He was blamed by many for the outbreak of World War I and the subsequent suffering it inflicted upon the world. During his exile, Wilhelm II maintained a keen interest in current affairs and continued to believe in the righteousness of the German cause. He wrote his memoirs, justifying his actions and defending his legacy. Despite his efforts to shape his narrative, Wilhelm II's reputation remained tarnished. He died at Huis Doorn on June 4, 1941, at the age of 82, his death passing largely unnoticed by a world consumed by another devastating conflict. Kaiser Wilhelm II remains a complex and controversial figure in German and European history. He was a man of contradictions, both a product of his time and an individual who shaped the course of the events. His legacy is one of missed opportunities, miscalculations, and ultimately profound tragedy. On the one hand, Wilhelm II presided over a period of significant economic and cultural growth in Germany. He encouraged industrial expansion, technological innovation, and artistic expression. However, Wilhelm II's personal flaws and political misjudgments ultimately overshadowed his achievements. His volatile temperament and impulsive decisions led to a series of diplomatic blunders that isolated Germany and contributed to the outbreak of World War I. His reign serves as a reminder that even the most powerful leaders are not immune to the forces of history, and that their decisions can have profound and lasting impacts on the world.